As of today, I am 28 years old. Well, my birthday was yesterday, but I'm not a workaholic, so I took that day off, okay? Did I wake up at 3 a.m. on my birthday yesterday and have a complete mental breakdown of like, I am getting older. I'm getting to the age where I thought XYZ would happen. I don't know. Yes. Did I go on DeepSeek and put in all my problems and it gave me actually good advice? Also, yes. Should I be using AI as a therapist? You know what? Probably not, but who's around at 3 a.m. to help me with my mind decisions? This cake is really good. And I made this cake. I made my own birthday cake because I don't really trust too many people to make stuff. Call it control or just call it I know what I like. I know what I like. Okay. Oh my gosh. 28 is interesting because for all my life, I feel like I had time. And I still feel like I have time, right? But it feels like every decision I make is a little bit more serious, is a little bit more intentional, and I can feel the impacts of every decision I make more fast, like more instantly now than when I was in college. I'm like, okay, I'll go to this university and I'll, study in this, and you really don't see the fruits of your decisions until a few years down the line, Hopefully that makes sense. But I feel like every decision I make now is just means more, if that makes sense. It seems to keep happening to me, right? Like I just wake up in the middle of the night of the eve of my birthday, or like the morning of my birthday, technically, and I have this realization. And at 27, I realized, or like internalized, metabolized that saying of youth is wasted on the young. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 27. I only have a short window before I am seen as old, or I'm like put in a different category that I've never been in my whole life, and I cannot go back. And I need to do everything that I can now, all these crazy ideas I have in my brain, because people will see me as, oh, you're just a kid, you're just trying out things, and if I'm a little bit older, which is crazy, but this is how society works, right? If I'm a little bit older and I try these new things that I really want to do in my brain, people will kind of be like, shouldn't you be more serious? Shouldn't you be thinking about XYZ? When honestly, I don't know. What should I be thinking about? Definitely not doing what is done all the time, because that does not interest me. Wink, wink. So that was 27. And then at 28, I'm realizing now, like, every decision matters. And every decision is a vote to become the person that you want to be, or to become a certain type of person. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to first share advice for younger people that I've learned from my own life, and also share some advice from older people for people who are about to turn 28, like myself, or who are finding themselves turning 28. Because it's wild, it is uncharted territory, and all above, it's just getting serious. Like, this thing that we call life is getting serious, and it always has been serious, but it's getting, like, undeniably serious, I feel like, at least in my case. Okay, number one, your looks could be the deciding factor that opens or closes doors for you, which is insane. And obviously, there's only so much that you can actually control of that. Like, you don't want to go under the knife just to turn into, I don't know, Beyonce, because you will probably get botched. But here's the thing. I find 70, if not 80% of your looks and how people perceive you comes down to your hygiene and how you dress yourself. There are so many uncovered and untapped baddies out there who have so much potential, but they dress all in Shein clothing, and they dress like every other person, which is like, everyone dresses like everything now, which, thank God, I love being this era, because even if we weren't in this digital age where everything kind of goes nowadays, I would still kind of be like, why are we all dressing the same? Like, I'm just going to do my own thing. And having a POV on life, like, take for example me, I'm very 1970s. I don't always dress that way for the camera, but I feel a little celebrational now, so I got my little Kill Bill dress going on. It has a little stripe on the side. But your POV on life decides how you dress, decides how you decorate your life, and decides your friends, because how you dress yourself is really a calling card. You're saying to the world silently and powerfully, this is who I am, these are the people I hang out with, this is the music I listen to, and this is just what I like. But for example, when you're on the dating apps, which I am 2 years clean of dating apps, you will not find me. I'm single for a reason. I want to be. Which is another point we'll get into later. But when you go on Tinder and you see guys dressed in all Salt Life gear and basketball shorts and a t-shirt that they obviously got from their college volunteer event. for like running a 5K. You're not going to think much of it. You're going to forget that person instantly. You're probably just going to go off of, what is structurally based on their face and their physique. But if that same person, for example, I can only use my lens right now because I'm the one talking, okay? But for example, if that person dressed up and got like, a mustache and let their hair grow out so their little curls come out and they're kind of dressed like a country boy, 70s-esque style, I would be foaming at the mouth. Same person, but they just look better because they put themselves together. Anyways, the point is, there's many directions I can go with this, many examples, but I have found that as soon as you start having a fashion sense, the doors will open. I've made friends just by outfit alone, and they would probably not even be interested in being my friend right off the bat because there was nothing, you go to a house party, you go out one night to a bar or a restaurant or a club, whatever, and all you get are first impressions. All you get is a quick glance, and you are immediately like, oh, I'm going to talk to that person, or I'm not really interested, and you just forget. So taking time to establish your POV on life will just like carry you way more than you think it will. Way more. And don't rush it, because I definitely rushed mine and it did not turn into anything, but I slowly cultivated like what I actually liked and what I actually wear and feel comfortable in and consistently show up as this said person in the world. I don't know. You need to, not only have hygiene, not only present well, but just have a fashion sense and just watch the opportunities come in weird ways. Trust, okay? Number 2, that whole argument that was going around back in 2022, 2021, I think 2023. Anyways, a few years ago, right? And it was these people being like, money will come back, but memories won't. And then we saw all these financial influencers being like, yeah, you can have fun, but don't have too much fun. You need to save. I'm here to tell you, as someone who's made consistently $1,000 maximum per month for most of my 20s, and then only in the last year had I really started to make real money, the money will come back. And if you're smart, because if you travel, your mind's probably more well exercised in the realm of confidence, ambition, curiosity, and all these other great attributes that are precursors to making a lot of money, being able to go out there and get what's yours. You'll be fine. You will make way more money because you're probably not going to go to a 9-to-5. You're probably going to make your own business or find cool people to partner with to make those businesses. Or, yeah, I just find you need to travel. If you're in your early to mid 20s, do the stupid thing now. Do van life, work abroad, volunteer, live in a boat, climb all the mountains, whatever seems to be the most ridiculous choice on earth because it's so not smart to do career-wise. Do it now because your 20s is the time for you to do these things. And there's so many non-monetary benefits of doing these things. You'll have a global network. You'll have cool stories. You'll be able to relate to people who have also traveled, and they will see themselves in you, and they would want to take care of you or want to help you succeed. Oh my gosh, there's so many stories in that. And people will be inspired by you, and it just doesn't have to all be about money. And I know that when you don't have money, it's a real issue, but let me just tell you, you can make the money later. I know people that have spent their whole young 20s and mid 20s, just kind of seeing the world, doing what they want, exploring, being like a bum, but in a creative way, not like a lazy bum, just being like, I'm not a cog in the wheel. I'm going to be a human first. And then they're like, okay, now I need to make money, which is kind of in the phase that I'm in right now. And they make like $10,000 to $70,000 a month because they just didn't do what everyone else was doing. They, like Fleetwood Mac said, went their own way and was better for it. So please don't worry about the money. Worry about your curiosity. Follow it. You will find a way to make the money in order to do those, seemingly waste of time activities. But let the future be the future. Don't worry about it. And if you are worried about it, then don't do it. But just hear it from someone who's been in that same exact position. You will be fine. Okay? There's a lot more things to life than money. And I know saying that is coming from a place of privilege, but let me tell you what, that was not always the case. Okay, number 3. I hate to break it to you, but it's true. What goes on here is what happens out here, okay? Your mental state and your mental world that you're imagining becomes reality. So be careful what you're putting in there. Even if it's negative stuff, like the negative stuff might not come true 100%, like, especially if you're always considering, what's that law? Murphy's Law. But you'll just have a better time if you make it a positive world. And even if you're like, oh, I'm a slave to these negative thoughts, like I can be at times, you're also in control. So never forget, you control the rudder to your huge ship. One example that I've said in my previous videos is like, man, when I was a senior in college, I would listen to ABBA all the time and just imagine singing Super Trooper on stage. And it was always this like visual, visceral, at the time, manifestation. I didn't even know what manifestation was when I was like, 21. But I was just imagining being on stage singing these ABBA songs, not in like a musical format, not like Mamma Mia, But yeah, I would have it almost day to day. And here I am 6 years later, and that's my job. That's my job. I sing Super Trooper on stage for a living, which is crazy. Your mind decides your future, so like, snap out of it, okay? Or snap into it. And the last piece of personal advice I can give to people in their early to mid-20s is the universe, God, whatever you believe in, okay, has put an idea in your mind, whether it be singing, acting, being a boss, being a CEO, being a parent, being fill in the blank, whatever it is. That idea is in your head for a reason. Don't be thrown off when people have the same dream as you. Work on it together, There's so much room for success. Room for success never runs out. Clock it. Never be intimidated by other people's success, because that's silly and a waste of time. But back to the original point. If you have a desire that is not there by mistake, okay? I don't have a desire to be a volleyball star. I don't have a desire to be an athlete. I don't have a desire to open a Publix and make pub subs, okay? I have a desire to be an artist. And so who am I to be like, oh, yeah, I want to be an artist, but like everyone wants to be an artist. I shouldn't do it because everyone else is doing it, or, I just have these random thoughts. I have thoughts about other things too, but like, this is what I really want. Stop it, please. Listen, you need to take yourself seriously, because now you're 28, okay? Or you're going to be 28, and guess what? You're still going to probably have that desire. Maybe it goes up or down, whatever, but that core desire you have, what you lean towards, is your direction. Please don't drown it out with your 9 to 5. Don't drown it out with being reasonable and adultish, Obviously, take care of what needs to be taken care of, but don't throw away what the universe has literally put in the palm of your hand. Okay? I say that because I need I need that advice too. But at 28, it just feels like everything's getting more serious. So it's like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta do this now or never. But you know what? I'm very blessed to have people my age and older in my life, and especially people who are artists that are older in my life. So a few weeks ago, I was like, hey, I just asked them all. I was like, hey, what's some advice you wish you could get when you were 28? And one of them said what I just said to you guys, which is like, if you have an idea in your brain, that's for a reason. Another piece of advice, use this for artists. One last crumb. Another artist friend of mine said that, and it was very flattering. I was like, ooh, thank you. He said that, there's people up here in New York, or here in this big city, that have a fifth of your talent and are doing way more just because they believe in themselves. They have this blind faith that is driving them massive success. So it's absurd for you to be the person to stop yourself from trying to do what you want to do. I was like, oh man, I guess that's true. I have to take your word for it because I don't really know. But they also say that life is better single than to be with, in their words, some poopy man. And I have to say, I agree. Guys, I have never regretted being single. I've regretted yearning and wasting my mental energy on hypothetical situations over guys that weren't really interested in me, but, they did the bare minimum. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so interested. Whoa. And I know like a response to this is like, oh, you're coping. Okay, if this is coping, me being able to do whatever I want, when I want, being able to change my mind, being able to go throughout my life and not be responsible for someone's dinner. Listen, the time will come where I find the right person and I'll want to take care of that person because they take care of me. But, the right situation hasn't presented itself. And I would rather die alone. I used to be really scared of dying alone, but I realized that it's better to die alone than to die along somebody who makes your life worse. And, you can only control so much of that situation. You can marry the right person, but they could change, which is awful. And I hope that for no one that's watching this video that happens to you. But it's like, life happens. And the older I get, the more I see and the more I feel comfortable with who I am and how I am. Even if the person's rich, I'm like, okay. And, okay. Another friend told me that, 28 is still very young, very baby. Even though this is my first time being this old on this earth, it's kind of like, it's too much. It's still baby. So, like, calm down. I'm like, okay, thank you. I had a lot of my hippie friends from St. Pete, which I'm going to right after I film this video. Hey, St. Petersburg friends, hey. They gave me all this, like, hippie advice, which I love, which is like, you are love, you are light. Just remember, what you put your energy towards is what you get out. And I'm like, you were all on bananas, and I love that. And that's true. Whatever you do focus is what you become. So just make sure to focus on, again, something that I need. But yeah, it's just crazy. It was like the first year I didn't put my age in my Instagram post. I'm usually like, so glad to be 21, rocking 22, happy to be 23, whoa, the big 25. And now I'm just like, thank you for the birthday wishes. Not a big deal. But it's funny. Yeah, it's just funny getting to that age where it's like, shh, what age am I? It's my birthday. It's none of your business. I'm just more comfortable sharing it here because, I don't know, we're tighter than my Instagram friends, I guess. But my wishes for 28 is that, well, I can't share all of them because I don't want to give it all away for anyone who's trying to monitor me. But I will say that I will be doing just the arts full time. I'll be creative full time and working towards freedom. No, not working towards. I will be free. And you should be free too. Just like the freedom that comes with being a freelancer, having your own hours, being your own boss. That's like the ultimate, which can happen because it happens for so many other people. So why not you? Why not me? Why not us? That's the vibe of 28. And you know what? I meant to share this at the beginning, but I am 28 and I live at home. No shame. I love it. I get to be with my parents. I get to be with my sister and my brother-in-law here. I have my own little room and I get to practice my music all day. It's amazing. Like, yes, I want to move out. I don't want to be here all my life. Hello. But if this is the worst case scenario, life is pretty good. Life is pretty good. Anyways, I have to go enjoy being 28. I have to, as the kids say, hit the club and dance because, once upon a time when I used to live in New York, I used to go out all the time. Hey, Kristen. We used to go all the time and just party. Not like, but like go to karaoke nights, meet people there, go to jazz nights, go to roller skating nights, go to jazz jam session nights. So not just like see a show, but like get in and sing along with them. Music shows constantly. Go to 80s and 70s discos. It's okay. This is temporary. This is temporary. I will be back. Anyways, guys, it's such a blessing to be another year older. Yeah, and still be in my 20s, even though I'm like halfway out the door, man. Here we go. No, I'm going to enjoy it. I hope you enjoy if you're 28 watching this or younger, whatever. Or if you're older, don't be afraid of turning 28. Honestly, it feels like 27. It's just like I'm mentally like, oh, things are serious and I need to treat them as such. That's all. Love you guys and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.